The signs. When will the day of judgment come? The Quran has made it clear that no one except God has knowledge of this. Only He knows when it will come, and He has not disclosed this matter even to any of His prophets and angels. However, the signs and portents which will signal its advent are mentioned in the Quran and the Hadith, and also in previous divine scriptures. Some of these signs are very general, and others are in the form of specific incidents and happenings. The signs of this first category are not mentioned in the Quran. Only the Hadith literature mentions them. Of the signs of the second category too, only one is mentioned in the Quran, the onslaught of Gog and Magog. Therefore, this only is the certain sign. Other signs which are generally known in this regard are found in narratives which the scholars of Hadith technically regard as Sahih. Some of these signs have already manifested themselves, and others, if their ascription towards the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is correct, shall definitely manifest themselves in future. The events. How would the day of judgment come about? The details of what will ensue at the advent of this day are mentioned in the Quran at a number of places. What will happen to the heavens and the earth, and what will befall the sun and the moon, the planets and the stars, and what situation will be faced by the creatures of the earth, and how will people emerge from their graves to gather round the Almighty, is all portrayed in the Quran. A study of pre-Islamic Arabic literature shows that the Arabs relished parables more than similes. The Quran, while taking this into account, has portrayed the picture of the cataclysm that will take place on that day in such a graphic manner that the reader feels and sees all these events happening before him. The sequence of the events which will take place as per the Quran is the following. A. People would be deeply involved in their life routine. Some would be on the way, some in the market, some in a meeting, and some at their homes, and no one would have the slightest inkling that this whole world is about to be disrupted, when suddenly the trumpet will be blown and the upheaval of the day of judgment will take place. At various places, the Quran has graphically depicted what will happen to the creatures of this earth when this commotion ensues. When after the first earthquake tremor, the second tremor comes, the state of the earth will be much like a ship which is being swept by the tumultuous waves around it, and whose inhabitants as a result will be trembling with fear, with eyes horror-struck, and they would be so overcome and stricken by the situation as if the horrific punishment of God has driven them mad. B. It will be at this time when great disruption in the physical world will begin. Such great commotion will ensue all over the universe that mountains will be crushed to grains, seas will burst forth, and all galaxies and heavenly bodies will be displaced and will fuse into one another. So great will this all-embracing upheaval be that minds cannot imagine it and words cannot describe it. This turmoil will continue for a period known only to God. C. After this, the second phase will begin. In the Quran, this phase has been called the phase in which mankind will be recreated. Thus, from this very turmoil, a new physical world will emerge. All heavenly bodies, including this earth, sun, moon, and galaxies made of billions of stars and planets, will change into an earth and heavens having new physical laws. According to the Quran, at this juncture the trumpet will be sounded once again, after which mankind will rise from their graves and will advance to the court of justice set up by their Lord for them. Phases and abodes. The phases through which a person passes and the abodes in which he is lodged during his journey to meet his Lord are also mentioned in the Quran. Slowly but surely, he is moving to encounter his Lord. The first phase of this journey is death. After a short stay in this world, every single person passes through this phase. There is no escape from it. It can come in the morning and it can come in the evening. One may taste it even before one's birth or right after birth. It can come in childhood, in youth, or in old age at any time, and every person has to submit to it, whether he likes it or not. According to the Quran, at death, the real personality of a person, which is called a soul or nafs by the Quran, and which is independent of his body, is separated from his mortal being. A specific angel, who has his whole staff of angels, is deputed for this task. He formally comes and collects a person's soul, just as a government official entrusted for collecting something discharges his responsibility. At this instance, what happens to a person is also depicted in the Quran. The souls of people who have deliberately rejected their prophets, even after being convinced of their veracity, are claimed by the angels whilst they hit and strike these disbelievers, and at this very juncture of death, they inform them that a terrible torment awaits them because of their evil deeds. On the contrary, people who profess faith in their prophets and are absolutely without any stain of disbelief or polytheism, and have also not infringed upon the rights of others or been oppressive in any manner, are presented with salutations from the angels and given glad tidings of paradise. After this are the abodes which are called Barzakh, Mahshar, Hell, and Heaven. Barzakh is the boundary beyond which the dead shall be kept till the day of judgment. In some hadith narratives, the word grave has been figuratively used for this world. Here mankind would be alive, but this life would be without any corporal form. Here the awareness of their soul, the nature of emotions, observations and experiences would be almost the same as the one found during dreams. It is evident from the Quran that for people whose fate is absolutely clear, whether they are the righteous who have remained faithful to God and to their human beings in an exemplary way, or are the haughty who have rejected the truth in sheer arrogance, punishment and reward will begin in this world of Barzakh. The reason for this is that taking an account from them would not be required. The next place people would encounter is the Mahshar. The Quran says that after the trumpet is sounded the second time, all mankind will rise from their graves and stand in the Mahshar. Each person will be given a body and a soul. The previous body of each person will be replaced with a new one, which will be appropriate to endure God's blessing as well as His wrath. However, each person will have the same personality at that time as he had in this world. Mankind on that day will be divided into three groups: the foremost in seeking the truth, the righteous, and the wrongdoers. The first and second of these groups will be given their record in their right hand, while the hands of the third of these groups will be tied, and they will be given their record from behind in their left hands. At this instance, the accounts of people shall be presented. Witnesses shall be called, so that the wrongdoers are left with no excuse to deny their sins. Prophets of God shall also be presented as witnesses. Even the tongues, hands, feet, ears, eyes, and skins of people shall bear witness. After this, judgment shall be pronounced, and people shall be sent to paradise or hell. Hell is the worst of abodes according to the Quran. In it there will be the punishment of the fire. This fire will scorch faces, disfigure looks, pluck out skins, and reach the hearts. The necks of the criminals will have yokes, and their feet will be in chains. Everything will become a yearning for them. The greatest punishment will be that to look at some of them. Paradise is the abode of the righteous. It is as vast as the universe. It is a place of eternal bliss, where in contrast to this world, there is no concept of death with life, sorrow with happiness, worry with satisfaction, hardship with ease, and torment with blessings. Its comfort is eternal, its bliss endless, and its days and nights unending. Its peace is forever, its happiness will never cease, and its majesty is everlasting, and its perfection matchless. Here the Almighty will provide His servants with that which eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, and which never has any person ever been able to imagine.